Hey guys, this is Valerie Smith, and I'm the publisher of Writer Now magazine, and we are charity and benefit driven, and we're all about what people do in the community to help others, especially in the biking world. And right here we have our issue for June, and thanks to attorney Fran Haasch, we were able to give everyone in this magazine a free ad because the community is getting to where it's up and cranking again, and we wanted to do as much as we could to help each other out. What I want to do first is talk to you about the upcoming events. First of all, on the 21st, now today's the 20th, so tomorrow at Quaker Steak and Lube is going to be the Battle of the Bands. And you know, Connie, Constance After Dark, has been on my show before. She's going to be here for next week's show, but that's going to be a real good time. You guys need to go to Quaker Steak and Lube tomorrow. Come out and sponsor, support the bands, and hear some really good music. And then they have a $2,500 gift package. And I think the finality is in September. And then also, what else we have going on is Wednesday, at the bike night, that's the 24th at Quaker Steak and Lube, we have Tommy Rocks from the band Nuttin' Fancy, and he's going to be having his birthday celebration, and he will be there at Quaker Steak and Lube for their bike night on Wednesday to celebrate his birthday. You guys, please come out. It's going to be beautiful. It's not going to be raining. It's going to be a good time. I see all across the state, because you know I travel the whole state with the magazine, East Coast, West Coast, and in the middle. Things are opening up, and it is really turning out to be a beautiful, beautiful time with everybody getting out. Now today, I also wanted to bring up to you about a special thing that we're doing with Bellissimo's. Bellissimo is an Italian eatery. There you go. There's a picture of the card. And I want to have Louie tell you what this is about with that $20 gift card, because you get 7 meals if you purchase this gift card. And the thing is, you can give it to someone. They can bring their family in. They can have 7 meals at one time for the whole family. They can use it 7 different days. And for every card that is bought for $20, they get a Ziti meal, a salad, and bread. For every card that's sold, Louie's going to give a pair of socks for the homeless to Thomas T. Mann Brown. So how great is that? And we do have a little video about Louie and him telling you about what's going on with this campaign.
Hi, this is Luke Falco from Bellissimo Italian Eatery in Largo, Florida. I'd like to introduce you to a new charity program that we just started called Ziti for the Needy. What you do is you can buy a card for $20, and it gives someone of your choice or our choice 7 full meals, including bread, salad, and pasta. For 7 days, they can use it for their family all at one time, or they can eat 7 different meals, all for only $20. Plus, we also buy and donate a pair of socks to the homeless. So please, thank Fran Haasch and Valerie from Writer Now magazine for supporting this program, and let's make it count. Thank you very much.
And now, my guest today, if you have been in the biker world at all in Tampa Bay or anywhere across the state, you guys know this man. And he has been a major player in all the bike shows, and as a judge, and as someone that has competed, and someone that has just made it happen, Rev.Jim. Rev.Jim, hey!
What a privilege to be here, right? I mean, it's you guys have been a supporter of what Racing for Orphans does since its inception, and of course I've been around as long as you guys, and probably a lot longer.
And you look good.
Do I?
Yeah, you look really good.
What's on my
I
best
thought I was
side?
older than you. When you said you're 70, I'm like, what?
Well, you know, when you do what you love for a living, it's it makes it pretty easy to just be happy all day long. And I've been smart enough to never have a job and just do what I like to do.
There you go.
Build
Wonderful.
custom bikes and run my charity, and I'm a happy guy.
There you go. Now tell me, you have Preacher Custom Cycles, right?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me what you do with that.
Preacher's Custom Cycles builds high-end custom bikes. We don't build the trendy stuff, Most of our stuff is lightweight, big horsepower bikes that are just the detail in the build itself is so over the top, that's what draws the customer in. And we don't, the bikes we build are not for your living room or your garage or whatever. These guys take these bikes out and they spank them pretty hard. So it's a lot of fun, and for me, I get to hone my craftsmanship every day, and I get paid for it. I had a friend, Chip Foose, tell me one time, at a convention, he says, you know, we're all lucky enough to have a job that's completely unnecessary.
There you
and
go.
ain't it the truth? So
Yeah. Well, you know, you have been around a long time like me,
I
and
have.
you know, back when we started in '04, it was $100 grand for a bike. But all of a sudden, the market really changed. So
Right.
what's a custom build go now? You know, for now.
it depends on what the customer wants. Dennis Campbell from Biker's Dream just had us do the finish restoration on the bike that started that company. And when they first built that bike back in 91 or 92, it went for $80,000,
Wow.
right? And that was his cost.
Right.
The restoration of the bike was $70,000.
Wow.
So, and he, you know, we had to build some parts and stuff to bring it back to what it was.
Right.
But it's $70,000. We built a calling card bike for the company, and we spent $80,000 of our own money.
Wow.
Forget the labor and the other stuff, but the bike has gone on to be very beneficial to our pocketbooks.
Right, right. Well, the bikes that you build, they win competitions. Is that mainly
Yes.
why you build the high dollar, high end, fancy smancy, pretty ones?
No, only I think most of it comes from my background as a machinist, you know, and my education. I have a degree in mathematics, and then the first degree I ever got was in business management,
Wow.
you know. So you put all of that stuff together, and when you put your name on it, and
Right.
you know, you're
Yes.
putting your name on Rider Now.
Right.
So you want to put out a product where people look at it and go, they really care
Yes.
about the build.
Yes.
So people can run around talking about who's the best bike builder in the world, and there just is no answer for that.
There
right?
you go, because you know it's you.
Well, no, you have to build what you love to do,
Right.
and people will take care of that. So right now we're doing a 68 Sportster project that'll be a retro bike. We're doing, of course, we just finished the new drag bike for Racing for Orphans.
Right.
And we have a 2.5-year waiting list for bikes.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
In this
so-
economy, that's wonderful. That's because you have a good name.
It's okay.
yeah.
I mean, like we talked about before,
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to mix it up if I have to say, you know, I'm not going to do that. I ain't afraid to tell them that.
Well, you
So-
know, it's funny because I taught four-handed dentistry in our technical school, and I always tell people I'm way smarter than I look, and I think you're smarter than you look. That's kind of a left-handed compliment.
Is it that what that is? Usually it's one of them.
No,
Take
no.
that. No,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you stop and you think about what goes in, and I won't use motorcycle building because every single place has something different.
Sure.
But when you think about what it goes into publishing a magazine, what it goes into putting out a TV show like what you're doing right here,
Right.
or even, you know, running a charity like I do.
Right.
They're all full-time jobs. And in the end, if it doesn't have a good reputation, it's unsuccessful. So
Exactly.
how long have you been around now?
Really, 11 years.
Okay, so you take
Yeah.
11 years in an economy where we've seen multiple different print magazines and stuff
Yeah.
go away
Yeah.
or shrink to nothing.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive to say that Rider Now,
Yeah,
a charity-based organization, is able to survive in this economy only because it has a good reputation. So for me, I put my name on it, and I'll do the very best I can.
Right.
That's
Well, I just want to ask you one more personal thing. Now, I know you're not a preacher, so tell
Oh,
me
that's
why they
untrue.
call you Rev.Jim.
Okay, so the long and the short story of it is that back in the day, we're talking, I think it was 1989 or something, I pulled this story out of my butt because I was being questioned by a supposed religion from Clearwater.
Yeah.
My wife took a job working for a guy that had a health care company, and I had to go and visit with the flying monkeys from Mars for their holiday party.
Okay.
So when they asked me about it, they started questioning me on the religion, and I said, well, I can't do that because I'm Rev.Jim. And they said, really? What's your church of persuasion? So I said, well, it's First Church of the Ape Hangers.
Oh, that's funny.
So in the end, I ended up being Rev.Jim from the First Church of the Ape Hangers.
Wonderful.
And then they just shortened it up, and that's the preacher. He's always on his soapbox
There you go.
preaching about something.
Well, I should have said I know you're not a pastor, because you are a preacher, because I've witnessed some of your preaching, and we won't go there. But anyway, so tell me about what is Racing for Orphans?
You know, I decided that after, I think it was my 14th surgery in 5 years in 2011, that the only way that I could really continue what I was doing is to be able to make a difference in people's lives.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to talk about only because it's something different than what the norm is.
Yes.
And the norm is, and this is no offense to anybody, but we all see toy runs,
Yeah.
we see donations, the kids get teddy bears, board
Yeah.
games, footballs, Barbie dolls, whatever it is. And we're not talking by the thousands or the tens of thousands, by the millions nationwide.
Right.
But they get the same thing from each one.
Right.
Our goal was to say, hey, we'd like to help kids that don't have even that opportunity. So we started looking around at different orphanages and charities, and in the end, we give cash gift cards to the kids. The big reason behind that is because these are kids that are orphaned, fostered, or at risk.
Right.
And those kids, they've never seen $10.
Right.
Some of these kids are as young as 5 years old, and
Right.
they're taken from their parents, adults, who think it's an easier way to make money to sell your baby so you can front
Yeah.
your drug costs.
Exactly.
Imagine being 5 years old, imagine being 10 years old, and somebody drops you off at one of the youth ranches and says, well, I'll just run outside and get the paperwork,
Yeah.
and leaves the kid there.
Right.
So when we give them the money, we give them a little talk about financial responsibility and what a couple $100 from us is worth, especially if you take what we give them in cash and what other
Right.
people that support the youth ranches give them. Now these kids are 8, 10, 12 years old. They've got $400, $500
Wow.
that they can go out and spend on themselves for Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, to them, we get the little cards and stuff, and at the end of the day, I go back and mid-January, I think,
Yeah.
we read all the thank you notes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
But I do that in private
Yeah.
because I'm supposed to be a tough guy.
Right.
I just ain't that tough.
Well, you know, it's funny, and I'm like you, I'm an example of when you lose it and you have nowhere to turn. I made myself better by helping other people.
I think everybody does. I mean, at the end of the day, you can be whatever you want. But if you're honest with yourself about what you're doing right now in today's economy, and we'll take our current situation, if you can lay your head down on the pillow and sleep
Right.
good at night because you tried to help somebody else, that's all that counts. It
Exactly.
don't matter. Nothing else matters. So,
Exactly. Well, you know, getting back to the thing about the parents, a friend and I bought bicycles for this
Yep.
needy family one time, and the next morning she called me back and she said, Val, your bicycles are on Craigslist.
Yeah.
The mom was selling them for crack. So that taught me a lesson. And then I worked with the Bread of Life Church in Ocala. And when I first went in, you know, helping fund their food pantry way back in 2010, the director said she wanted to tell me a story about why. I said, you know me, I'm nosy. Why do you do this? Like I asked you. She said, well, we have a little boy whose name is Tony. And every time he would come back and give us his backpack on Friday, we'd fill it up so they'd have food for the weekend.
Right.
You know, because once the kids got off the bus,
They're
they
on
didn't
their
have
own.
those school lunches.
Right.
And she said when he would bring it in, it was just filthy. And I finally said to him, now first grader, Tony, why is it that your backpack is so dirty when you bring it back in? And he said, he looked me right in the face and said, well, Miss Karen, if I don't hide it under my trailer, my mama sells all my food for crack.
yeah.
Now that's a
It's,
first grader.
Sure. But again, you're talking to children and you think they ain't listening.
Exactly.
And it's especially with the language people seem to use today so freely on both sides of the fence.
Right.
I mean, they listen to every single thing you say.
Yes.
And I mean all of it.
Yeah.
So when you look at taking a child that hears bad things,
Right.
Wayne Whitsack from Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranches, and they have cottage parents.
Yeah.
They have 8 to 10 kids at each cottage.
Right.
Those parents are there 24/7.
Yeah.
These kids have church to go to.
Wonderful.
They have chores that they have to do before they eat, right?
Right, right.
They have homework that they have to do. They have a grade point that they're expected to meet.
Right.
When you look at that, and then you see
Yeah.
guys like Wayne told me last week, they had one of the graduates this year is going to West Point.
Wow.
Then when you see guys that are actually from whatever ranch it was, whether it was Safety Harbor, Bradenton, Bartow, Live Oak, and these people have gone on to be owners of NASCAR race teams.
Wow.
Titus O'Neil is one of the mega stars of the World Wrestling
Right.
thing. So they're learning something that
Sure.
when you go in and see it, it'll tug at your heartstrings what the values these kids have.
Right.
And then you hear that when they came in there,
Yeah.
they wouldn't even talk to people. They were afraid of everybody.
Sure.
They didn't want to get hurt or beat or anything. So it's pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, you know, we grew up in an era when my dad would beat me if I misbehaved, and he taught me respect.
Right.
I mean, you know, and I mean, I think, and even my daughter tells me now when I said, why are these people picketing, these young people, or, you know, when I see out here tearing stuff up, why? Where are their parents? She said, Mom, you don't get it. Their parents don't care.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think everybody's parents care.
Yeah.
In some respect.
Yeah.
But I don't think they put the effort into their kids that we used to.
Right.
And it's really not, you can't fault the parent at some point. In today's society, both parents have to work. Kids, unfortunately, have access to very bad stuff.
Right.
Pick up a phone.
Yeah.
Everybody's got one.
You're right.
And we all know that
Yeah.
everybody likes to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Drive down the street and make a mistake, and the first thing you're going to get is your number one finger from somebody.
Right, you're
so when you look at it from that standpoint, we can't place all that blame on the parents. A lot of that has to come right from us.
Right.
So, I mean, how do you fix that? You go directly to the kid. Right?
Exactly.
Directly to the source that's receiving that information, and you give them the opportunity to make a change by themselves. And that's what Racing for Orphans does. For these kids that are out there, we give them cash, and they can buy whatever they want.
Cool.
And I should have brought some of the little letters for you to take home and read.
Oh.
Because I'm telling you, what these kids buy with the money
Right.
would astound you. We had a
Wow.
14-year-old boy, and he got his money. He bought a vacuum cleaner
Wow.
so he could clean his room.
Wonderful.
Right? So you would think these kids would go, oh man, I need a pair of whatever hot sneaker is on
Right.
today or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not so.
Yeah. Well, we've got about 8 minutes left, and
Sure.
I want you to tell me about the event that you're going to be doing in September.
Well, let me see. We're probably going backwards a few years here, right?
Okay.
Our motorcycle shows now, and I'm not poking fun at anything, but they're more of a concert with motorcycles.
There you go, yes.
Than they are a motorcycle event.
Right.
Right? I've seen events where the bike show's over here and you pay for the concert over here, and the vendor out here, who is making your profit, is unsatisfied.
Yeah.
I'll use that word.
Right.
Because there's nobody out there. They're either at the bike show, which is over here, or the concert that you got to pay for the event that is supposed to be free.
Exactly.
So then you go to the average bike show, and the bike builder is dissatisfied because the bike judge
Right.
isn't actually a bike judge.
Right.
He's a jingle writer or something like that. I mean,
Right.
but he's built a few bikes, but
Yeah.
so we're going to start giving the guys the opportunity to come in, have a good time on
Right.
September 13th.
September 13th
And
is
it's
the date.
Yes, and it's at 13800 US 19.
Perfect.
It's an enclosed-in area.
Right.
The bike builders come in. The bike builders will judge their own stuff.
Wonderful.
You guys pick your own stuff, and that way your name's on it.
Right.
So hopefully that keeps them honest, I guess.
Right. Well, I want to give you a full page in the magazine for the next
that's
3
awesome.
months, and I want to praise you on my show from now on until your event, and I want to be at your event.
Only till the
shoot
end of
it.
the event. Are we expecting me to do something wrong?
Heck yeah, no. And
It wouldn't surprise you, would it, guys?
really, and you know, I have to give Fran Haasch some praise for giving me this format to bring people on like you so that I can glorify what you do, because not enough people walk up to you and say, hey, Jim, thanks for doing that for the kids,
Well,
because they should.
you know, I was at a toy run 2015 when it was still down on 54th Street. I happened to be standing there watching all of the people go by,
Yeah.
right? And I don't solicit much stuff, but Fran came up to me and said, you know what, Jim? I'm loving this idea that you have with racing for orphans and all of that. I want to help you guys out.
Wow.
And she is actually Fran Haasch and the Fran Haasch Law Group, Rhett Jones, Brian York,
Yeah.
Michelle Steves, just name any one of them, from the top to the bottom. Never a bad word to say about anybody.
I
right?
know, I love that.
Their name goes on everything. They try to help everything, and they helped Racing for Orphans become the charity that it is today. Now, we're not at the top of the list or the biggest charity, but she is the one making that difference. We're only the guys providing the
That's
road.
wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
for Fran and Rhett and the rest of you,
Yeah,
I
we
love
have
it.
we have a short video that we'd like to play, you know, about Fran and what she does for everybody and what she does
Absolutely.
at her office. Rob, can we get that video up, please? There you go.
I decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. I enjoy being a passionate advocate for my clients, and I'm so grateful that being a lawyer also allows me to make a positive impact on our community. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
Having been through a serious accident myself, I understand how instantly isolated someone can feel during the immediate aftermath. We try to shed light on a client's situation so that they don't feel so isolated, knowing that they have us on their side, working towards a resolution on their behalf. That's where we come in, and that's what the firm did for me as well. We fight to set clients on the right track so that they can try to get back to the life they had prior to the accident.
A fellow was texting and driving and came across the line and hit me head on. Just a horrific accident. I literally thought I was going to die. You know, I've dealt with thousands of wrecks in my life being on the fire department and never thought I would be in that situation. Fran is a big sponsor of a lot of the restaurant events for bikers and things like that. So I knew that she had a lot of experience in wrecks and things. So she was the first one I thought of to call. She's a bulldog. They found out things that I didn't think were possible to find out. When you're laying in a hospital bed and you're hurting, I understand it. It's scary, but if you have Fran Haasch on your side, it should alleviate a lot of your worries. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
They have their own lives to take care of, whether it's family, a job, or all the above. We endeavor to shield clients from the stressors of an injury claim so that they can try to focus on what is truly important.
The culture of this firm is based on charity, compassion, and I like to surround myself with team members that are going to treat a client like they're part of our family. Community is number one to me. We do a food drive every year. If it's a cancer benefit, a food benefit, something for the animals, something for veterans, we love to be involved in that. The bikers are such a charitable group of people, and they have the biggest hearts. I love being part of that community. This can be devastating to have an accident, and it's just a priority of mine to make sure they get the best medical care possible to make a full recovery.
Okay. Thanks, guys, so much for watching the show today. And Reverend Jim, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, your life story, and your mission to help the kids at the Sheriff Youth Ranch.
It's our pleasure. Thanks for having me on and stuff like that. And I'm probably not the normal guy running a charity, but hey, we do stuff for the kids, and all the cash goes to the kids, so big props to you guys for letting me talk about it.
Hey, I really appreciate it, and I think your event on the 13th of September is going to be huge.
Well, we hope so. All the cash that we generate there will go for cash gift cards to the kids.
Wonderful.
Last year, every kid at the youth ranch has got $150 from us, so
Wonderful.
It's, hopefully this year we can give them even more.
There you go. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. And please remember to share. Please share these shows, because it's all about what people do to help other people. If you need to be helped, contact me. I might know where to send you. If you've got a charity or benefit that you're working on and you want to get the word out so that you can get more donations or whatever you need, we're here for you. The economy is changing. It's opening back up. We're going to be out there on the bikes. Guys, please ride carefully. Always say, ride safe, party hard, and pray daily. So thanks again so much for joining me and Reverend Jim, and we'll see you guys next week. And remember, the 13th of September, it's going to be cool. Bye, guys.